Is this what you want? This fucking foliage? Is this what you want? Mr. Dips? Is this what you want? Me standing in front of EC3 buying designer coats? Is this what you want? Me sitting in some hipster hotel in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, fluffing pillows? Is this what you want? I don't believe this. This graffiti art, it's the hotels, avocado toast. All I want is a fucking Guinness. An ice cold Guinness. What the hell does that mean? Oh, this is what you wanted. This is your Monday Night Raw review right here on Off the Script. What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. This is your Monday Night Raw review for July 6th, 2020. And it's another Monday night. And it's another Monday night that is par for the course. Nothing new, nothing exciting, nothing fresh, new, innovative. It's the same old on Monday night. Outside of what we usually see and what we usually enjoy on Monday night, you had your usual cast of characters. MVP did his thing. He's been one of the best things on Monday Night Raw. Bobby Lashley is even coming along. And I can actually lump him into that MVP category. But at least keep him off the microphone. That's why you got MVP. The less Bobby Lashley speaks, the better he looks to me. Sasha and Bayley have been two acts on the main roster that pretty much could be the MVPs going on into the early months of the summer for WWE. Asuka has always been great. Randy Orton has always been great. And this new legend killer gimmick is really doing the job on Monday night. I'm a fan of Drew McIntyre, but not a fan of how WWE has booked him. But other than that, we don't really have anything else on this show worth talking about. Another Monday Night Raw that was par for the course. Another Monday Night Raw that was same old by my buddy Bruce. We're going to go over it all right here on Off the Script. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me. Tonight, what we got lined up, Raw Women's Champion, Asuka, and Bayley, the SmackDown Women's Champion. They went face-to-face in the main event of tonight's show. Champion versus champion, non-title, obviously. But WWE is giving away champion versus champion matches like they're giving away fucking candy. I don't really understand it. My question is, when we get to the Survivor Series, how important are these champion versus champion or champion versus champion versus champion matches going to be? How important are they really going to be? Not important at all. We've seen champion versus champion matches all throughout the last couple of months, and I'm sick and tired of it. Because somebody has to win, somebody has to lose, and WWE doesn't make anybody look good, and a champion more than likely will be getting pinned on Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown, and that should not be happening. That should not be happening, but here we are. And I'm not in creative. Bruce is in creative. Monday Night Raw is run by Vince McMahon. What the fuck do you expect? Same old shit. Sasha Banks and Asuka, they're going one-on-one at the Extreme Rules pay-per-view. I'm sorry. The horror show at Extreme Rules. I am so terribly sorry that I mispronounced the name of the fucking show because Extreme Rules is a little too much for WWE to fill us on in. Extreme Rules is too much for the roster to go out there and say they gotta say the horror show at Extreme Rules. You're watching the fucking horror show for 3 hours on Monday night. Asuka and Banks, Extreme Rules, July 19th. Asuka and Bayley both got involved in Banks' match against Io Shirai on NXT last week. After Bayley interfered, Asuka appeared and spit green mist into Miss Banks' eyes. That led to Io Shirai getting the win and round we go. Round and round we go. Bayley, like I said, defending her women's championship against Nikki Cross. I don't know who the fuck this imposter is. Nicole Cross that we see on Friday night. It's not the Nikki Cross I know. I have no idea where she went. Please, if somebody has any information on her, I'd love for you to pass that along to me so I could get it to the proper authorities. Awful. Cringe. Nikki Cross puts the C in cringe on Monday night and Friday night for that matter. Is anybody keeping tabs on how many SmackDown talents showed up on Raw with this brand-to-brand invitational? I've already lost count. For the first time since the angle where Seth Rollins attacked the eye of Rey Mysterio in May, Rey Mysterio will make his return to the ring tonight, who, by the way, is wrestling without a WWE contract, as we talked about on an off-the-script extra that went live today. If you guys want the information on that, look at this beast thumbnail, bro. Look at that beast thumbnail that my boy Sal Rex made me. The best in the business. You know how Santana and Ortiz yell, "I'm the best! I'm the best!" Sal Rex is the best. Go and check it out. Link should be popping up right there in the annotation that you see in the top right corner. Go and check it out, man. Little different take on an off-the-script extra. If you guys like it, let me know. I'll continue doing short-form videos like that so I can rival the Wrestle Geeks over there who upload fucking 7 times a day like that other clown used to do. You guys know who I'm talking about. Anyway, Seth Rollins and Rey Mysterio, they will be in the ring tonight. Mysterio and Aleister Black will be facing Rollins and Murphy. Of course they are. Just exactly like I said it would. You're seeing like 14 or 15 different variations of this same fucking match every single week. But I don't expect the fucking plebeians out there to say that or think that. They'll fucking regurgitate and swallow this shit left and right. Oh, this is great. This is such a great tag team match. Little do they know they've seen this same tag team match about fucking 67 times already over the course of 3 months. And I'm sick and tired of it. I really am. Rollins apparently will also be on the KO show with Kevin Owens tonight. How much did they pay Kevin Owens to come out of quarantine? Are you serious? Now we're back to Owens and Rollins? Didn't that shit die at WrestleMania? Fucking ridiculous, man. Talk about lazy, Bruce. Holy shit. Did you just get out of bed and write this fucking show? Big Show is on the show tonight. A lot of shows. Kevin Owens show. Big Show. Big Show's on the show tonight. That's my Big Show impersonation. You gotta watch the fucking video if you're listening to me on Spotify or iTunes. Other than that, you might sound, or you might think I sound like a blithering idiot. Losing his mind over here on a Monday night. That's what Raw does to you. Big Show and Viking Raiders versus Randy Orton, Andrade, and Angel Garza. 6-man tag. Joy, oh joy. I can't wait. Then you got Dolph Ziggler. Apparently he was going to reveal the stipulation tonight for his WWE Championship match. His token WWE Championship match that he gets yearly. It's like a fucking lottery ticket for this guy. Against Drew McIntyre at the Horror Show at Extreme Rules. Because Horror Show is just too much for WWE to say by itself. They gotta add all of that in one giant mess on commentary 37 times per hour on this show. So that was that. That is the rundown of Monday Night Raw. Folks, it's gonna be a long one. I don't even want to be here. I really don't even want to be here. But I'm here for you. You live vicariously through me because I know nobody watched this shit tonight. That's why I'm here. But I thank you guys for joining me on the podcast on this Monday night. Follow me on social media at JDfromNY206. That's on Twitter and Instagram. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications if you missed any of the uploads that I have uploaded to the channel in the last couple of days, including this past weekend's Off the Script and today's Off the Script Extra. Go and check all of that out. Links are down below in the description of the video. Patreon.com/JDfromNY206. And today's podcast, as always, is brought to you by my good friends over at Harry's. Harry's.com/script for your trial set today. Believe me, folks, I've been using them for 3 years. The best shave of your life is Harry's. We'll talk about them and my friends over at Harry's a little bit later on in the show. Let's start at the top, man. Show opened up with Drew McIntyre making his entrance to the ring. The announce team hyped his match with Dolph Ziggler at the Horror Show at Extreme Rules. This was one time of 96 times that they said that full show verbatim on commentary. From there, Drew spoke about, what's going on and Extreme Rules and Dolph Ziggler. He welcomed everybody to the show. And he mentioned the fact that he's allowed Ziggler to pick the stipulation for his match at the pay-per-view. Drew ran all the options of the matches that he could possibly be choosing from, but he said that his fists were the only weapons he needed. Drew said regardless of the match that Dolph Ziggler picks, Drew McIntyre would be the WWE Champion at the end of it. No DQ match, weapons match, a steel cage match. He says, it doesn't matter. I'm going to be the WWE Champion at the end of it. At that point, McIntyre called Ziggler out to the ring, so cue his theme music, and out comes Dolph Ziggler. As always, I don't like it. I just wish he would come strolling on out with a microphone. If the champion is calling you out, you don't need to have your theme music go off, bro. Seriously. Just come on out with a microphone and speak to the man that is calling you out. Simple. This overproduced, micromanaged rubbish on this show. It's not the way I do it, but that's why I'm here and they're there, I guess, right? Anyway, Dolph Ziggler came out and he walked to the ring and he was going to reveal to the world, because it was so important on Monday night. Amongst everything else that's going on in the fucking world, you got the bubonic plague now showing up in China, right? Everybody's dying over there again. So we got Dolph Ziggler coming on out, and he's going to reveal to the world, because everybody is just waiting with bated breath on what the stipulation is going to be for a match that he is inevitably going to lose. So Ziggler walked out. He's at the top of the ramp. He spoke and said that the world came to see the stipulation that he would choose. Sure they did, Dolph. Sure they did. But he said he waited and then revealed that his stipulation was a secret. So he actually didn't reveal anything. Ziggler said that Drew messed up in giving him that power and that he would be a sucker to reveal things early. From there, Ziggler ran down Drew for being stupid, and in response, Drew yelled at him that he was WWE Champion and to not forget it. Almost in a way that Ziggler was disrespecting the WWE Champion. Ziggler talked about Drew getting fired, and in response to that, Drew said he was fired and that he battled back to become champion. He said he hoped to inspire others to do something similar. Ziggler talked more and said that he stabbed people in the back to get where he was. To that, Drew said that he beat Brock Lesnar in 5 minutes and Big Show right after. Thank you for reminding me, Mr. McIntyre, about the Big Show match. The Brock Lesnar match was fine. The Big Show match, please, I'd like to forget that. So he beat Big Show and Brock Lesnar. Ziggler then continued on and said that he brought guests and that those guests were people that Drew screwed over to get to where he is right now. So from there, Ziggler brought out a returning Heath Slater. Yes, I've got kids. Heath Slater is back, for one night at least, with the WWE. Slater walked to the ring with Ziggler and then spoke to Drew McIntyre man to man. He talked about Drew coming to the States and that he was called the Chosen One. Slater said they both could agree that back then he was not the Chosen One. Now, though, Slater said that he was the Chosen One and that everyone could see it. Slater then talked about watching Drew beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania and that he was on his couch and he cried watching WrestleMania because he loved Drew McIntyre. Slater then asked where Drew was for him when he needed him, meaning Mr. Heath Slater was fired. And Drew McIntyre did not call Heath Slater in the midst of all that was going on with Black Wednesday. Drew wasn't there for him. Heath continued and talked about Drew promising a match to him on the bump. Now, I must have missed this. Pardon me, I don't watch garbage like the bump. So this match must have went right over my head. So fuck me, I guess. Slater said that Drew needed to give him what was promised and what he deserved. So, at this point, obviously, they're developing sympathy for Heath Slater. You got the crowd inside the Performance Center, the fans, quote-unquote, cheering for Heath Slater. A lot of people on social media are like, oh my God, Heath is cutting a great promo. We're all sympathizing with Heath Slater. I feel that down to the core. I know where Heath Slater is coming from. So what exactly were they doing here? It's like they were building babyface sympathy for Heath Slater, who's not even an employee of the company. Meanwhile, it's in a way where he's shitting all over the WWE champion, who at the same time is a babyface. He is your babyface champion, and you're making him come off as the bad guy here. It's not what really Drew McIntyre is in this for. Heath Slater came off as the sympathetic babyface, and Drew McIntyre came off like a humongous prick in this segment, up until this point. It took them a while to get to where they needed to go, but I don't understand why it took them so long. So, Drew shook his head and acted like he didn't want to fight him. Slater pushed him. Slater then slapped him and asked him, what about now? Drew then stared at him and told him he had his fight, and we went to commercial break. So, I want to say this right now, okay? The promo was fine. I felt the promo. I know Heath Slater was genuine in that promo. That was a worked shoot, I'm sure. And the reason why it came off so well is because there was realism behind it. I'm not refuting any of what he said. I'm not even refuting the segment that we seen with Heath Slater. My question to everybody is, how many suckers in the community fell for this and are actually now hoping for a Heath Slater return to the WWE? Those are the real simpletons in the community. I'm sitting here laughing because I'm about to get into how long this match was. And his return to the company lasted as long as I expected it to last. I don't understand why you would fall for Heath Slater back in the WWE. I don't even know why you would want him back in the WWE. For every blue fucking checkmark that jizzed their pants over this segment, you are the very reason why Heath Slater will fail if he goes back to the WWE, because you don't know any better. It's like you share one fucking brain between every single fucking one of you. Why would you want him to go back to the WWE? I would much rather him go out there and venture off somewhere else where he's actually going to be used. If he comes back to the WWE, Titus has a new executive chef all over again. Give me a break. And by the way, they brought back Heath Slater for what? For what? The story is there, yes. But why did they bring him back for this? To give him a final goodbye before they say, all right, enough is enough. Now you can go back on unemployment. Did he need the money? I don't really understand why you brought him back for this, and it lasted 30 seconds. Legitimately, 30 fucking seconds this lasted. So we got his match. Bell rang. Drew, Claymore kick, Slater down, 1, 2, 3. Legitimately. If you blinked, you missed this entire match. After the match, Drew walked off and Ziggler confronted Heath Slater, ran down Slater in the ring, started yelling at him, belittling him. Ziggler pushed Slater and Slater pushed back. From there, Ziggler mounted Slater, started grounding and pounding him. Drew came in, made the save. Drew and Ziggler then talked trash at each other before Ziggler ran up the ramp and ran out of the situation through the curtain into Gorilla. Back in the ring, Drew lifted Slater to his feet and both men hugged and embraced in the middle of the ring, all while Heath Slater was legitimately crying tears, genuine tears, on Monday Night Raw. Now, it worked effectively. Whereas I spoke about Heath Slater becoming the sympathetic babyface and Drew McIntyre looking like a humongous prick in the earlier segment before the match, Then it became Drew McIntyre looked like the good guy. Heath Slater got his sympathetic babyface reaction, and all was good at the end of this. I don't know why it took so long for them to get there. I don't know why this was needed on the show. I just don't really understand any of this. Do you know what I see when I look at this? I see a bunch of community-ridden fucking idiots jumping at the fact that Heath Slater's all over WWE TV again. Great. Now he's back to unemployment. You know what else this tells me? This is how lazy WWE is, honestly. They gotta bring in Heath Slater for Dolph Ziggler to get them by another week of TV because they know Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre have absolutely no history with one another outside of what they did as a tag team a couple of years ago on Monday Night Raw. They certainly don't have the history that Drew McIntyre and Heath Slater have. The only reason why this was on TV was because WWE has nothing else. This match is irrelevant. This match is predictable. This match is unnecessary. They needed a storyline because they have another week of television left to go. That's why Heath Slater was there. And who's the fucking sucker? Everybody that thinks he's coming on back to the WWE, everybody that wants him back in the WWE, and Heath Slater's a sucker himself. Because he picked up the phone, went to the Performance Center, showed up on Raw, only to be fired for a second time. Spare me. If you think oh my God, Heath Slater looks good. Yeah, he's looking good for Impact. He ain't looking good for Vince. They don't want him. They don't give a fuck about him. Otherwise, they wouldn't have let him go in the first place. Spare me your, oh my God, JD, you're so negative. Oh my God, he doesn't find the good in anything. I gave you the good, and I gave you the overwhelming bad. It didn't make any sense, and it was an absolute lazy fucking piece of shit segment because WWE doesn't know how to write a goddamn fucking story. This is what you get when you give us Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship, which I'm assuming it won't even be the fucking main event of Extreme Rules. Imagine that. The WWE Championship not in the main event of your fucking pay-per-view. Good job there, Bruce. Great job on devaluing the WWE Championship. Moving on. And man, oh man, I didn't stutter in anything that I just said. So you know I'm fucking heated. Sasha Banks, Bayley, they were interviewed. Sasha was asked a question, but Bayley interrupted and asked why they should talk to her when they can go and talk to the world. I would much rather see Sasha and Bayley more so than anything on this show. They've been two of the best acts in all of WWE. Someone can say, anybody could say, if you want to tell me that Sasha and Bayley are carrying the main roster right now, I would not refute that statement whatsoever. And I would happily admit that. They are. So they went out to the ring. Asuka showed up. She said she wasn't alone tonight. She wasn't alone. She wasn't alone tonight, Asuka. Dancing away. Who was it? How many of you thought it was Io Shirai? I'm glad it wasn't Io Shirai. I'm glad it wasn't Io because Io on Raw, forget about it. Vince would look, and then Vince would bury. So we were spared Io Shirai. Sasha Banks and Bayley stood in the ring before they spoke. The announce team hyped Bayley's championship match against Nikki Cross at the horror show at Extreme Rules, because Extreme Rules is far too much to say. After the announce team cued the highlights from last week with Sasha Banks pinning Asuka on Raw, which did not make any sense whatsoever going into the match with Io on Wednesday. But you didn't hear it from me. Actually, you did, and I was right, as usual. Sasha Banks pinning Asuka on Raw last week. Bayley spoke in the ring. She said Raw could officially begin because her and Sasha Banks had arrived. Oh, throwing some dirt on Dolph Ziggler's name. I love it. I love it. Bury the WWE Championship some more, Bruce. Please. Have fun. Banks spoke and said that money never sleeps when you are them. She said they were changing the game due to the fact that they never sleep. Bayley continued and said, when you are a once-in-a-lifetime talent, everyone thinks it's easy and attacks them. From there, Bayley talked about her match against Asuka tonight and her title match against Nikki Cringe at Extreme Rules. The horror show at Extreme Rules. I lost count at this point. I think maybe I was up to like 17 or 18 in the first 20 minutes. Banks then chimed in and said that she would become 2 belts Banks once she beats Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship at the horror show at Extreme Rules. So they have been doing great. Man, it's crazy. I did not like Bayley's heel turn. I thought it was very rushed. I didn't think WWE had any plans for Bayley as a heel. And I'll admit when I'm wrong, and I was wrong about this. I didn't think Bayley was going to do well in a heel role at all. I always seen Bayley as a babyface, but man, oh man, she has shut everybody up. They're having fun. Number one, that is absolutely predominantly shown through both of their actions. They're both having fun. Bayley's having fun. Sasha is having fun. And man, she's owning the gimmick. She's owning the gimmick. This is a good annoying. The Iconics are just get off my TV annoying. That's how you be a heel. That is how you teach everybody else how to be a heel. What Banks, especially for the women, what Banks and Bayley are doing. So at this point, Asuka walked out. She mocked Sasha Banks and Bayley. From there, both sides talked trash. Asuka laughed at them. Bayley then said that Banks was ready for anyone that Asuka had in response. And Asuka brought out Kairi Sane. Sane walked out to the ring for a match against Sasha Banks, and we go to commercial break. I guess she missed her flight to Japan, did Kairi Sane. Everybody was reporting that Kairi Sane's going back to her husband. Everybody was reporting that Kairi Sane needed to get away from Nia Jax. She was terrified of her life being near Nia Jax. She wanted to go wrestle in Japan. She wanted to go retire in Japan. Whatever the fucking reports were saying, here's Kairi Sane on Monday Night Raw. I was actually sad. I really was. Kairi Sane in WWE ain't for me anymore, man. They really haven't done anything to show you they care about Kairi Sane, but here we are. And a match against Sasha Banks is underway. This one went 15 minutes. This was a good one. A decent little match here between Sasha Banks and Kairi Sane. Banks tried for a knee strike. Sane countered with chops on Sasha Banks. Sane then jumped off the top rope for a forearm strike. Connected. Sasha sold it really well. Went for a pin, only got a 2 count. Out of that pin, Sane hit Banks with a series of blockbusters. From there, she connected with the Interceptor Spear. That sent Banks into the corner. Seeing that, Sane hit her sliding elbow strike in the corner. Went for another cover, only got a 2 count. Out of that pin, both women exchanged holds until Banks hit a Meteora. She then covered, got a 2 count of her own. She then climbed to the top and tried for a second Meteora, did Banks, off the top, but Sane countered into a Boston Crab. With Banks down, Bayley ran into the ring and clocked Sane. The referee then called for the match, and it ended where all 4 women were brawling around the ring, and the match went to a no contest, or DQ, for Kairi Sane. So, clearly, WWE was protecting both women here for what would come later on in the show, and that is why we got what we got. So, Kairi Sane is back. I don't think WWE is going to have really any plans for Kairi Sane. She's just another cog in the wheel to move this Asuka feud along, and then out of that Extreme Rules match, we're going to get Bayley and Sasha Banks, more than likely at SummerSlam. But Bayley did the same thing again. It's back and forth we go. They're playing a game of who can screw the other one over. So Banks did the same thing with Bayley and Alexa Bliss on SmackDown. Now we got Bayley doing the same thing to Banks here against Kairi Sane. So I don't know how all of that is going to be wrapped up and told as far as the storyline goes when Banks and Bayley have their feud for the SmackDown Women's Championship. But this was a decent match, and I'm going to take it as it is, man. On any show when these two are in the ring, nobody should really complain. It was a decent enough match to a point where it facilitated everything else moving forward. But the one thing I was thinking about during this match was, look at how far Sasha Banks has come, man. A couple of years ago, all I did for 52 straight weeks, probably more than that, was rant, bitch, complain, and moan that Bayley and Sasha Banks had matches against the Riot Squad every single week with a rotation of tag team partners, whether it's 2-on-2, 3-on-3, no matter who it was. That's all you ever seen, and that is all creative ever had for them. But now look at what Sasha Banks is doing here. She had Io Shirai on Wednesday. She was in the ring against Kairi Sane tonight. She's got Asuka at Extreme Rules. More than likely, Bayley at SummerSlam. Sasha Banks is doing it right now. Bayley is doing it on both shows. All three shows, for that matter, because they are the tag team champions. So I'm loving what's going on here. And they are legitimately carrying the women's division right now. And I have absolutely no problem with that whatsoever. They could honestly be looked at as the MVPs of this entire program. I have no issue with anything that's going on here. I just love that they are finally getting what they have always wanted with each other. Working with each other and then working against each other. And it's coming. It's going to be great. The announce team played clips of last week's tag team match between Aleister Black and Humberto Carrillo against Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy. Clips were finished. Aleister Black was shown in the back wearing a lucha mask, and he was writhing in pain. There you go, folks. The stroke of a pen has erased. The stroke of Bruce's pen has erased Aleister Black from Raw. Great. He's the one guy I do want to see on this show. Then you take him out. So Aleister Black was backstage selling an injury. Rey Mysterio's mask was on him. Rollins walked up and looked at Aleister Black on the floor, smiled and smirked, and he said, "That's a damn shame," and walked away. We went to commercial break. Back from commercial break, we see The Big Show. Yes, I'm not having convulsions, people. That's legitimately what I think when I see The Big Show. Honestly. Viking Raiders were shown. They were admiring a green bowling ball. For what, I don't know. By the way, congratulations to Eric and Sarah Logan. They just announced that they were pregnant. Or she was pregnant, not him, but they're having a child. So that's great news for them. She announced it on her YouTube channel today. So good luck to the both of them. No mention of their bundle of joy coming. Of course not, because WWE doesn't deem the Viking Raiders, I guess the newest bowlers in WWE, a top priority. So no thank you or no congratulations or anything of that nature for the Viking Raiders because of whatever reason. WWE just doesn't give a shit about them, which was very evident for the last 2 years. I mean, give me a break. So we got the Viking Raiders. They're admiring a bowling ball. Big Show then walked in and stopped them. Show looked upset. I would look upset too if I was on this fucking show. Show looked upset and said that he likes to have fun, but tonight is different. They talked about Randy Orton and what he did to Edge and Christian. I'm sure Edge just complained about it as usual. They then tried to do their own 5-second pose, but Show slapped both of them with big overhand chops. Eric then told Show that he might not get their Viking ways, but that when they get in the ring, the raid would be on. Sure it is. With Bruce riding the show, I doubt it. Kevin Owens made his way to the ring. He's out there for the Kevin Owens show. So we go from the Big Show to the Kevin Owens show. I thought Kevin Owens was home with his family. How much did WWE pay him to come on back with a mask? Come on back to Raw to get away from his family? I don't know. But here he is. I thought he was out. So he got inside the ring. He had his knee pads on underneath his sweats, so I knew he was going to be wrestling tonight. He welcomed everybody to the KO show. He then took apart his own set and threw all of the chairs that were positioned in the ring out of the ring. And he was yelling, "Up! I broke that one up. There's a second one I broke." He was just eliminating all of the chairs because of his guest tonight on the KO show. Owens then told the audience to welcome a pretty giant piece of trash to the KO show, Bruce Nice to meet you! Wow! He had Bruce Pritchard on the show tonight. No, not really. Seth Rollins came out. Rollins walked out with Murphy by his side, minus Austin Theory. Don't ask me where Theory is. I'm sure he's being punished severely for his crimes on social media. So he walked out with Murphy as the announce team talked about Seth's battle with Kevin Owens at WrestleMania, because we're going back to that again. Once Rollins got into the ring, he grabbed the microphone and spoke. He asked Owens why he destroyed his own set. Rollins then thanked Owens for having him as a guest on the KO show and asked him how his ankle was, because the ankle was very sore and tender following their WrestleMania match, because he jumped off the WrestleMania sign in the Performance Center while driving Seth Rollins through a table. So Owens said it was fine and it's better than Seth's ego was. He said, ever since WrestleMania, Seth hasn't been the same. This show hasn't been the same for 7 fucking years. And counting. So I lost count. So he said Seth hasn't been the same since WrestleMania. Owens continued and said that whenever you face someone at WrestleMania, there is a bond there. Kevin Owens then said because of that, he wanted to give Seth something to commemorate the moment that they had at WrestleMania. From there, Owens handed Seth a KO Mania shirt, and it was one that he wore when he beat Rollins. Rollins told Owens he could see what he was trying to do, and he didn't care about him, his shirt, or his stupid show. Rollins said the only reason he was out there was to address the now medically cleared Rey Mysterio. Rollins then formally challenged Rey to a match at Extreme Rules. So Rollins continued and turned his attention to Kevin Owens. He said that Owens needs him more than he thinks, just like Monday Night Raw needs Seth Rollins. I don't know who's writing this shit. I really don't. I don't know who thinks this is good writing. Monday Night Raw needs Seth Rollins. Bro, they need the power of Jesus Christ Almighty. Not even him and the Vatican can help this fucking show. This show needs a goddamn prayer on Monday night. They need Rollins? No, they don't need Rollins. They need me to write the fucking show so we could get business done. They need me to be that little angel in Vince's ear, talking, hey man, this is not going to work. What are you doing here? This is illogical. This doesn't make any sense. Why aren't you using this guy? Why aren't you using this female over here? Where's Bianca? Where's Ali, Bruce? No, they need Seth Rollins, though, right? What this show needs is for Vince McMahon to remove himself from day-to-day operations. What this show needs is Bruce. What is the fucking point of me even asking for change when I know change, the change that I'm asking for, is never going to happen? No reason in getting you guys excited over something that's not going to happen. I apologize. I'm still waiting for Bianca Belair, though. Really. And Shayna, Bruce. No, but Monday Night Raw needs Rollins. Give me a break. I think that early fatherhood is getting to him already. Rollins kept going. Said that Owens might get more out of fighting with him than against him. Rollins talked about fighting and said Owens should have a larger purpose for his fighting. From there, Rey Mysterio walked out with Dominic. You know, because Rey Mysterio is not under a WWE contract, so showed up to work anyway. I'd laugh if Rey Mysterio showed up next Wednesday when Dynamite was live at Daly's place in Jacksonville. Imagine that. He loses this eye for an eye match that's happening, and he shows up in Jacksonville. Fuck you, Vince. Keep my son. I don't give a shit. Rey Mysterio walked out with Dominic. He accepted Seth's challenge right away and said that his destiny would be in his hands. Rollins appeared happy about that and said, this is great. Unlike this show, this is great. He said that they had a tag team match and that his partner was MIA, a.k.a. Aleister Black. Rollins ran through some options for Rey and suggested Dominic join him. At that point, Kevin Owens jumped in and said, no, I'll be Rey Mysterio's tag team partner, and then suggested that the winner in this tag team match would pick the stipulation for Rollins and Rey Mysterio at the horror show at Extreme Rules, because he didn't hear that enough on the show tonight. Now, Kevin Owens is back from quarantine, after saying that he wasn't going to show up there and work. He's back in the WWE here on this show, and I'm not sure if you're aware, you more than likely have seen this match before in a different variation. This is easily the 37th time you've seen this match in the last, I don't know, maybe 2.5 months, 3 months? Easily. You might not be aware, that's why I'm here. That's why I gotta let you know. This match has happened all through the year. You just might have been asleep during Monday Night Raw. So, Buddy Murphy attacked Owens from behind. Ray ran in to make the save, and then we get this tag team match that I'm sure you've seen 57 times already. Anyway, I'm just as bad as WWE. Owens and Mysterio versus Rollins and Murphy. Winner chooses the stipulation for Mysterio and Rollins at Extreme Rules. This was a decent little tag team match. Nothing new. Nothing exciting here. Everybody looked good. Rollins put Owens in a knee submission until Owens broke the hold by reaching the ropes. So Rollins obviously attacking Owens' leg and his ankle. He eventually caused the break by reaching the ropes. Did Owens punched Murphy off the apron, but Rollins held momentum with strikes in the corner. Seth charged Owens and connected with a splash. Finally, Owens halted Seth's momentum with a super kick. After he made the hot tag to Rey Mysterio, Rollins made it to Murphy. This was a nice little exchange between Ray and Murphy. Ray hit the ring, took Murphy down with a Hurricane Rana after he smashed Murphy in the corner and then connected a second Hurricane Rana in the corner. At that point, Ray went for a 619. Rollins took Dominic hostage. So my ears perked when I seen this. I'm like, there you go. That's exactly what I want to see. So Ray went for the 619. Rollins took Dominic as a hostage. As Rollins backed up the ramp, Aleister Black's music plays, and cue Aleister Black for this scene during Act fucking number 7 on Monday Night Raw. All Aleister Black had to do was come out and show face. His music needed to go off, and it needed to be one big theatrical fucking nightmare. I don't like, I'm telling you, man, that irks the shit out of me. These overproduced, micromanaged segments on the show irk the living shit out of me. And you know what I'm talking about. I know you guys watch the show, and there's little things that you ask yourself, is that really necessary? That irk the living shit out of you. That is one of them, for me, personally. So Aleister Black comes out. Black walked out with that as a distraction. Dominic gouged Murphy's eyes. Because of that, Ray was able to hit the 619 and his top rope splash before making the cover. And the 1, 2, 3. Mysterio and Owens win this tag team match that you've seen about 45 fucking times already. And Rey Mysterio then chooses the stipulation for his match against Seth Rollins. Now, the match is going to be an eye for an eye match. I don't know what the fuck that means, but apparently it's a horror show. So WWE has to pretend that somebody's fucking eyeball is going to be pulled from their eye socket at Extreme Rules, thus the horror show. Then you got Tom Phillips over there speaking in this nightmarishly creepy fucking, oh my god, I don't believe Rey Mysterio is challenging Seth Rollins to an eye for an eye match? Oh my god. This fucking tone that he used. So fucking ridiculous. What is an eye for an eye match? What is it? They're gonna have BB guns? They're gonna shoot each other in the fucking eye? The first one to hit wins? What is it? Are you fucking serious? From what I could tell, I don't know what the fuck it's gonna be. Maybe it's gonna be in a classroom setting, and they're gonna be shooting spitballs at each other. Are you fucking serious? An eye for an eye match? Yeah, I want to be blind too if I gotta watch this fucking show every week. Unreal. Rollins looked concerned, and then oh my god, an eye for an eye match. WWE's got to sell the fucking fact that somebody's eyeball is gonna go missing, because I don't know if you're aware, folks, it's a goddamn horror show. Imagine this scenario, folks. Imagine this scenario. You haven't shaven in 3 weeks. I'm talking specifically to the guys here. You haven't shaven in 3 weeks. You get up in the morning, you go to the bathroom, you look yourself in the mirror, and say, man, oh man, forget Monday Night Raw. I myself look like a goddamn horror show. How can I fix this horror show that I'm looking at right now? I got the answer for you, and that is Harry's. Harry's.com/script. Do you guys know how much money you can save in 1 year if you switch to Harry's? That's like buying 26 cups of coffee in New York City. Enough for 3 deep dish pizza dinners in Chicago. Enough to pay for 6 months of your Netflix subscription. Harry's delivers high-quality blades at factory direct prices, just $2 each. A fraction of the price of the leading brand and saving you hundreds of dollars along the way. Now, what I love about Harry's, my beard looks fantastic, and I have Harry's to thank for that. I love the smooth glide of the blade. I love the fact that I use a Harry's blade and I never cut myself. I love the trimmer blade that comes with it. You get that extra precision, and I love their shave gel, man. It smells great, and it leaves a beautiful, tingling sensation all over your face. You guys can feel what I feel every morning by using Harry's. Get yourself a trial set today by going to harrys.com/scripts. Harry's is a return to the essential quality durable blades at a fair price. They are just $2 per blade. They've cut out the middleman, manufacturing blades in their German blade factory that's been honing precision for over a century. They're also super convenient. Blade refills are delivered directly to your doorstep on your schedule with or without a subscription. Harry's has all your grooming needs covered in one stop. You can get blades, hair care, shower products, all on harrys.com. And just like their blades, Harry's is committed to providing premium products without breaking the bank. And you guys can feel a little bit better about your purchase as well. 1% of proceeds are set aside for nonprofit organizations devoted to helping provide access to better health care for men and veterans. And to support those who need it most right now, Harry's is donating $1 million worth of shaving supplies to hospitals across the United States. Listeners of Off the Script can redeem their Harry's trial set by going to harrys.com/script. You're going to get a weighted handle for a firm grip, 5-blade razor with a lubricating strip and a trimmer blade, rich lathering shave gel with aloe to keep your skin hydrated, and a travel blade cover to keep your razor dry and easy to grab on the go. Guys, fix your horror show in the morning. Use Harry's. harrys.com/script. How much better would this Seth Rollins and Rey Mysterio storyline look and feel if it wasn't about poking somebody's fucking eyeball out? How much better would this storyline feel and look if, I don't know, Dominic Mysterio was on the line? This is why I don't understand why Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy did not win this match. Seth Rollins is fighting for the greater good of Monday Night Raw. Seth Rollins is fighting for the greater good of Monday Night Raw, and Rey Mysterio needs to be sacrificed for the greater good. If Rollins, or if WWE, I should say, wanted to make Rollins into a dastardly fucking villain, then he should have won this match tonight with Buddy Murphy. And the stipulation should have been, if he beats Rey Mysterio at Extreme Rules, then Dominic is his servant. That would have ended it all. Goodbye, Rey Mysterio. Now Seth Rollins owns Dominic Mysterio. It's great. I don't understand this. And then Rey could fight for Dominic's honor going into SummerSlam. And then you can bid him goodbye. Bid him farewell at SummerSlam. Rey Mysterio can hand over the mask. And Dominic now, being that he's exiled, the Messiah of Monday Night Raw, hand over his mask to his son, and Dominic can take the reins as the new Mysterio in the household. I mean, I don't understand why we didn't go that route. That tells a far greater story than taking a fucking Nerf gun or a super soaker and blinding somebody's fucking eye out at Extreme Rules. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's a fucking pool fight. Maybe it's a water gun fight somewhere in the greater Orlando area, and the first one to fucking blind somebody with a goddamn super soaker is declared the winner. I don't know. Eye for an Eye. The only Eye for an Eye I know is track 1 of Soulfly's debut album. Nice throwback to my metalheads out there. Moving on here, man. MVP and Bobby, I shall not call him Trashly, lately. They were interviewed backstage after clips of what happened between Apollo, who is now off of TV. For how long, I don't know. Time will tell. Before their question could be asked, Lashley chimed in, which is never a good thing. He chimed in and said he locked in the full Nelson on Cruz and choked the life and the spirit out of him. So what Bobby Lashley is saying is that his full Nelson is like me watching a 3-hour Monday Night Raw. Because this show, in 3 hours on Monday night every single week, chokes the life and the spirit out of me as well. That's exactly what it does. The similarities are eerie going into the horror show at Extreme Rules. So he said it would be a matter of time before he would be a future United States champion. MVP then spoke that he had a new vision for the United States title, and that it would reveal itself later on in the show. So that later was now. MVP and Bobby Lashley made their way to the ring. Once they got to the ring, they spoke. MVP was first, and he talked about Apollo Crews coming to Raw for the first time because he was in catering for 5 over on SmackDown. He said he was bright when he first was there, but burned out because of crossing paths with him and Lashley. No, he crossed paths with Vince, and then Vince realized, oh, this guy's still employed. He's the United States champion. When the fuck was that decision made? So then he proceeded to text Paul Heyman and continue to fire him, even though he's already been fired. He crossed paths with Lashley and MVP. MVP said that Crews felt invincible on Raw. Yeah, right, with this creative, he felt invincible. Yeah, sure. But that nobody was invincible except for Bobby Lashley. He talked about Crews turning on him, or turning him down to manage him, and called that disrespectful. The creative on this show is disrespectful. From there, he continued and said that when you disrespect him, you disrespect Lashley too, and that was not a smart career move. A smart career move would be not to go to the WWE. That is a tip and trick from podcaster to viewer, if you're a professional wrestler. Don't even bother. Don't even bother. MVP then revealed a new United States Championship. If I could remember, I'll put the picture of the title here on the podcast for you guys watching on YouTube. A lot of varied opinion about this. I think we can all agree that the title needed a complete revamp. Whatever WWE had done with that title, I mean, they killed it beyond belief, so it was in dire need of a recreation and a revision. This one was nice. It's not the IC title design that they had. I love that design, even though I'm still very much in love with the old school white design. That's the IC title to me. But this new design for the IC title is great looking. I love it. I think it's great. The United States Championship is all right. But if you guys look at it, yes, anything Winged Eagle definitely piques my interest. Anything Winged Eagle has always got my attention. But the eagle looks like it's wearing Macho Man sunglasses. There's not enough American flag on it to be a United States Championship. And I feel like the letters champion that spell out champion, you know, from a distance and you look at it, you can't even really tell it's the United States Championship unless they just told you it's the United States Championship. Now, I'm going to say this once and I'm going to say it here and only here. This is a good design, but it is now a lesser of the United States Championship designs that we've seen in and around pro wrestling. As far as I'm concerned, the IWGP United States Championship now reigns supreme as the best United States Championship design in all of pro wrestling. And I know you guys agree with me. This was all right, but normally with things like this, it takes time to develop some love for it. We'll see if we get there, but it's better than the old design. I just wish that there was a lot going on here that it actually speaks to me that it is the United States Championship, because, like I said, from far away, I can't tell it's the United States Championship unless you just told me it's the United States Championship, which they did. And that's the only reason why I knew it was the United States Championship. So, they unveiled the new title belts. Lashley then officially crowned MVP the real champion and placed the new belt around his waist. So, we're doing what we should have did with Bryan and Zayn, with Apollo Crews and MVP, who's not even an active wrestler on the roster. He's a part-timer / manager. How could you unveil a new United States Championship when the United States Champion isn't even there? What did you do? You took him out of action with a goddamn full Nelson. And you mean to tell me that now we're moving on from Apollo Crews as the United States Champion? Do you know what this told me, folks? This tells me that Vince is absolutely in the stages of planning Apollo Crews' demise on Monday night. That's exactly what he's doing. He cannot book this shit fast enough to get that title off of Apollo Crews. Now, Apollo Crews apparently will be back for the pay-per-view, and he will challenge MVP in a United States Championship match. What is going to happen there? Apollo Crews is going to get the victory over MVP because MVP owns the victory over Apollo Crews. Apollo Crews is going to become the sole owner of the new United States Championship to drop it to Bobby Lashley at SummerSlam, and it goes right back to being with MVP. Am I in the ballpark, Bruce? Just get the fucking title. You might as well just strip him of the championship, because you know what's coming. MVP should just hand this title over to Bobby Lashley and call it a day. A short day at the office, because I know it's coming. Out comes Ricochet. I didn't know anybody asked for losers on this show. Maybe they made the wrong turn at the performance. Listen, I know that catering might be set up a little bit differently. They're not in arenas anymore. He might have made a wrong left turn, did Ricochet. I'm not sure where he is, but somehow he ended up on the stage on Monday night. Titus was asking for him, bro. Seriously. He had those mashed potatoes with the fucking chives and the bacon bits in catering today. That's a Ricochet specialty. Moving on. Ricochet called them the Hurt Business. No, the Hurt Business is watching this fucking show every week at 3 hours. The Hurt Business, and said he and Alexander would make them file for Chapter 11. Who wrote that line? From there, they rushed to the ring, and we went to break, and we get a tag team match. We get a tag team match that was made, says Tom Phillips, made during the commercial break. So if it was made during the commercial break, why did we just come back from commercial break and then, and only then, was MVP finally taking his fucking suit off? If the match was made during the break, don't you think he would be, I don't know, ready to wrestle in the fucking suit and tie that he was being portrayed in tonight? Why are we getting a tag team match with MVP in a suit and tie? Is this the extent of your creative? Why was this even necessary? He might as well just have given me a 2-on-1 handicap match with Bobby Lashley against Ricochet and Cedric Alexander. At least then you'd be doing good in getting Bobby Lashley over. Why did we need to see MVP wrestle in a suit and tie only for Ricochet and Cedric Alexander to lose anyway? He wasn't even supposed to be there in that capacity. Why did you book the match? What is with everybody wrestling in their non-wrestling gear in the last couple of weeks? Might as well just have booked Lashley versus these two losers and get it over with. And by the way, I fucking hate that WWE's portraying Cedric and Ricochet the way that they are. So much better than what they are, but that's what they are. And I gotta shoot from the hip. Sorry. Sorry if I'm hurting anybody's feelings over here. Maybe Ricochet needs to join Ruby Riott on the fucking unemployment line when his contract's up, but forget about that. This is his boyhood dream. They're making a 365 special about his incredible year. His incredible year. I hope that spear that Bobby Lashley gave him tonight is in the fucking documentary. MVP and Lashley win via pinfall, and that's exactly what it was, a squash. What a spear by Bobby Lashley. Made the cover 1, 2, 3, and that was it. Zelina Vega Angel Garza and Andrade, they were all in the back talking. Andrade says he didn't want to talk and walked off before he could. His father-in-law walked up, a.k.a. Ric Flair, walked into the shot. He said they better get it together because Randy Orton would be waiting for them. Orton then walked into shot and said he respected both of them because they were third-generation stars. He said if they got in his way tonight, he would introduce them to both the Legend Killer. So he was going to RKO both of them tonight if they let him down. From there, he fist bumped both of them and walked away with Flair, and we go to commercial break. Back from break, we get Orton, Andrade, Garza versus the Viking Raiders and the Big Show. This was the start of hour 3. So, again, folks, all I'm doing here during this match is talking to myself. I can't find any interest in this whatsoever. The best thing about this match is Randy Orton. Because clearly, Andrade and Garza were falling apart as a tag team, and Randy Orton had to watch these two idiots just implode while he was standing there. So, Randy Orton took things into his own hand here. So, they argued. Orton screamed at Garza, pulled him out of the ring, grabbed him by the throat, and shoved him into the plexiglass. And then he threatened him. He threatened him, and he threatened his life, legitimately. Dropping an F-bomb, I believe he did, and they blanked it out. Well, they bleeped it out. This was great. Randy Orton is fucking great. And I don't know what's going on here, but Randy Orton seemed to get Andrade and Garza on the same page, and it got me thinking, and then I see all the fucking, the shills on social media following my lead, as usual. I put out 15 minutes before everybody said something. Imagine Randy Orton taking Garza and Andrade under his wing and reforming a new version of Legacy in 2020 with Garza and Andrade. I could see it happen. I could see it happening. Now, I don't know how that plays into Edge and Christian, but I don't really give a shit right now because who the fuck knows how long Edge is going to be out. And I'm sure he'll complain about it all the way to the fucking bank anyway. Seriously, because that's all he's been doing since his return. Just criticizing the fans for criticizing the product. But Randy Orton, you know, he could be that guy to take both of these guys and kind of mold them into what we all know they could be. And if they're pairing Randy Orton with them, then in WWE's management eyes, I would assume that they have high hopes for both Garza and Andrade. Now, I said time and time again that Andrade is safe anyway because his father-in-law is Ric Flair, and he's marrying Charlotte, so he's good to go anyway. No matter how he's portrayed on TV, he's golden. Garza, you know, there were reports that Vince McMahon looked at him as the new Eddie Guerrero. Everybody already seen that before Vince came out and said that, reportedly said that. We all seen that already before Vince seen it anyway. So pairing Randy Orton with both of these guys, it could be a good thing. And I'm thinking ahead. Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre is a rumored match, a possibility for the WWE Championship match at SummerSlam. Andrade and Garza, you know, when they were being treated like losers on Monday Night Raw following WrestleMania, they already had a run-in with Drew McIntyre, so it kind of ties that up as well. And WWE would be doing something that is very rare for them, and that is actually continuity. If they're pairing them with Orton, and Orton challenges McIntyre, there's a nice little story there. So we'll see what happens. So we go to commercial break. Orton's team had this match under control. Obviously, the Big Show gets a hot tag here. He's talking trash across the ring. Garza connected with 2 knee strikes, then crushed Eric with another chop before tagging Andrade back in. Andrade locked in a sleeper, and he hit chops of his own. In the end, Orton crawled out of the ring. Once Big Show got in, Show dominated. Orton made a quick tag secretly after Garza and Andrade countered a Viking experience, a.k.a. Thor's hammer. Then he hit an RKO on Eric and made the cover 1, 2, 3. Orton, Andrade, and Garza win via pinfall. This was fine. I don't really like Big Show on TV, but we all know that. I think the majority of the audience thinks that way as well. Thus, the 1.7 rating last week. But I'm liking what's going on here with Orton. I'm going to keep an eye on it, a very close eye on it. And they may be setting up a Legacy 2.0 with Orton, Andrade, and Garza. After the match, the Iconics were shown talking backstage. They made fun of Ruby Riott. They should not be making fun of anybody, period. They talked trash. As Riott walked up behind them, she called them dumbasses, and she said she was focused on Billy Kay tonight. She said it would be iconic. Not iconic, but tragic. Then they walked off, and all I was thinking was, man, Guy Fieri and Triple D is not on a Monday night. I wish it was a Thursday night, because, I mean, they do marathons every single week with that guy. But here I am watching the fucking Iconics on Monday Night Raw. Every time they're on TV, it is tragic. Yes, I agree, Ruby. Then they walked off, and the camera followed. It caught MVP and Cedric Alexander talking. MVP asked Alexander why someone with his skill set was content being Ricochet's sidekick. Alexander didn't answer and said he knew what MVP was trying to do. MVP acknowledged that, but then said he'd be in catering for his entire career if he didn't think about what he was saying. So MVP spitting facts on Monday night. Oh my goodness. Titus loves Cedric in catering, bro. Don't take him out of catering. MVP then walked off with his title, and Alexander looked around confused. Ric Flair and Orton were shown backstage. Flair was congratulating Orton on the win, and then all of a sudden R-Truth ran into him. Truth thought Flair was Tozawa. He's like, for the dirtiest player in the game, you clean up good. And then he started staring at Ric Flair, and then he started to think, Tozawa? And then he heard Tozawa in the distance and said, two Tozawas. And then he ran off. And then the Ninjas ran into Randy Orton, and Randy Orton stopped the Ninjas with Tozawa and asked, I'm assuming you guys are looking for R-Truth. R-Truth ran that way, but Randy Orton said, no, he ran that way. So he saved R-Truth here. I don't know why Randy Orton and Ric Flair are in a serious storyline here, and they're mingling with the fucking Ninjas. Come on. It was for R-Truth was funny. The Ninjas, give me a break. Ruby Riott versus Billy Kay. Billy Kay wins. Yes, I know. Awful. Billy Kay, whatever the fuck she hit her with, the finish was god-awful. Oh my god, it was god-awful. She got the 1, 2, 3, and Ruby Riott falls to 0-12 on Monday Night Raw. But who's counting? Who's counting? Liv Morgan, I'm sure, is set to come back, and then Ruby Riott will get her win when the Riott Squad reforms against the Moronics! Moving on. Sasha Banks and Bayley were interviewed backstage. Bayley spoke and said that Asuka would be lucky if she doesn't slap her into next week. Banks then spoke and said that the Kabuki Warriors would never be tag team champions again. She said that if they needed to accept Asuka's challenge to do that, they would. She then took the challenge, and Bayley looked concerned. So Banks is making moves against Bayley's desires. Banks quickly made her case, and Bayley quickly was convinced. She then called herself the best champion in WWE before telling Charlie Caruso to move along. And then we go to the main event. Nikki Cross, C for cringe, is out there on commentary. There were a bunch of security guards willing to usher Nikki Cross away because, believe it or not, she's not a part of this brand. But you didn't hear a peep about the brand-to-brand invitational here. Nikki Cross ain't a tag team champion. Why was she here? Who invited her? Do you tell me how she got here and why she was here and by what means she was allowed to be here? Tom? No, but I'm the idiot. Asuka and Kairi Sane, Bayley and Banks, one-on-one this was, Bayley and Asuka. I don't know why this one went over 20 minutes. I really don't. They could have shaved this thing down by 10 and got to the same outcome that they got. Listen, this was fine for what it was. It ain't breaking no fucking barriers. It's not burning the building down. You're not going to go back and rewatch it 16 fucking times like it's some classic match in the annals of WWE time. It furthered the storyline. And that's all it was there to do. And it built to next week's TV. Simple. So we got Bayley. She's on offense here. Hits a series of suplexes and submissions on Asuka with some pinfall attempts in between. Only got a 2 count on one of those pinfall attempts. Eventually, Asuka countered that offense in the ring, took the momentum and the match back into her control. It was halted, though, once again. All the action spilled to the outside. Banks then got involved, of course, but was countered by Kairi Sane. From there, Bayley crushed Asuka into the ring post and then rolled out of the ring to comment about it with the announce team. And she sat there and we went to commercial break. And she was talking about something being tasty. She might have had dreams of Titus and what he had for dessert after the show was over. I'm not sure. So we're going to commercial break. We're back from break. Asuka rolled out to the ring in order to capitalize here, but Bayley shoved her into the guardrail. From there, both women brawled into the ring. Asuka connected with a flying dropkick off the top rope. The action then took place on the outside again, where Bayley hit Asuka with a knee strike into the plexiglass. Bayley then was gloating and then punched Kairi Sane for absolutely no reason. Sane tried to get into the ring, which allowed Banks to come on in and hit Asuka with a strike to the face. Bayley then went for the cover. Only got a 2 count. Nikki Cross, who was clearly kicked out of the arena because she's not even on this show. She doesn't even go here. So Nikki Cross showed up on the opposite side, but this time she was behind the plexiglass. She was behind the plexiglass, banging on the plexiglass, distracting Bayley. Because of this, Asuka was able to lock in the Asuka lock. Banks tries to get involved to break the hold, but Kairi Sane speared her instead on the outside. Asuka then rolled Bayley up for the 1, 2, 3. Bayley, the SmackDown Women's Champion, takes a pinfall on TV. And now we get Banks and Bayley versus Asuka and Sane next week for the Tag Team Championship. It told a good story. It furthered the story. Like I said, it really wasn't anything all that spectacular as far as what happened in between the ropes. It did what it needed to do. It was a good main event for the show. And that was pretty much it. Asuka is on fire. You know, she's carrying her load on the Monday Night Raw side for the women's division. Sasha and Bayley, that is self-explanatory. It's good to see Kairi Sane back, but I don't really know if she's going to factor into anything, really. I think she's just here to aid Asuka and kind of even the odds here, and that's about it. They're not going to win the Tag Team Championships next week, I don't think. Maybe they will. Maybe they will. I have no idea. So we'll see what happens. This was all Sasha Banks' fault. Maybe this does implode the team, and Bayley and Banks really start to separate each other from each other, leading into this SummerSlam match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. I don't know. But Asuka stood tall in the middle of the ring, and the show ended on Monday night. And that was pretty much it. Again, Monday Night Raw was the same old, really nothing new here. But I don't know what else to feel about Monday night, man. It really doesn't do anything for me. The show, honestly, by 10:30, I felt like the show was on for 6 hours at that point. It is absolutely unbearable to watch week to week. Things don't make sense. I don't really feel invested in much of what's going on here outside of a thing here or a thing there. Big shows on TV. I don't give a shit about that. WWE with their fucking catchphrases and their terrible verbiage. I mean, everything is just a turnoff on this show. It really is. But what am I? I'm a fucking podcaster in the community that thinks he knows better, but what the fuck do I know, man? You know, there'll probably be the overwhelming majority of geeks in the community that thought this was a great Monday Night Raw and they should be, you know, apologizing to fucking Bruce. This was a great show. Everybody's negative. This show sucks. This show is absolutely fucking garbage on a week-to-week basis. And things, absolutely no question, could be done better on Monday. Guys, the next time I'll see you is possibly tomorrow with more WWE news and rumors on an Off the Script Extra if I have some time, so look forward to that in the evening on Tuesday night. Until then, guys, thank you so much. If I made you laugh, if I made you cry, if you agree with me on anything during this show, let me know down below in the description of this very video, or not the description, in the comments of the very video. So make sure you guys do that and check out the description if you missed any of my content on the channel. Hit that subscribe button, turn on that bell for all notifications. Follow me on Twitter at JDfromNY206. That is on Twitter and Instagram, patreon.com/JDfromNY206. Hit that thumbs up. And as always, I will see you guys right back here on the channel with more WWE content for the week. It's only Tuesday, guys. It's going to be a long, long week. But at least we got Wednesday to look forward to. See you guys then.